senses.
So now here comes the installation of the pistons and rods. So with your bearings, you're going to install them just like you did on the crank. There is a little hole here. Make sure that lines up 100%. They give you this little notch so you don't mess it up. Same procedure as before. Make sure both sides are flat and no lip. If you're good on that, then you're going to get your ring compressor for your pistons. Behind me. You're going to have to put a towel down below. The reason for this is because you don't want to damage the crank when you drop the rod in, or you don't want to damage either the bearing too. So, because they will drop. That's not a good thing. Okay, so you get a towel, get it over the crank, around it. Show you here. You'll see there's a towel right there, down in the middle. Right there, you see my finger? There's a towel right there. That's where you need to put it. Repeat the process for all the other pistons and rods. Grab your spring compressor, your piston ring compressor here. Okay, so now for piston installation, you got to make sure your piston rings are set correctly. Number one, you'll see the notch right here. It has to face the front of the motor, which is over here where your dipstick's at. So that notch has to be facing this way. Your first ring, you want that notch, you'll see the groove here, you want it here first. The second one, you want it over here. And then the third ring on the opposite side of that. So every ring is pretty much away from each other as far apart as possible. This just allows for the rings not to have, what's the word, any blow by. Because once they're in, they stay there. They don't spin in a circle. They stay in that one spot. They don't ever move again. So make sure you guys have them as far as possible from each other. Once you have that, you're going to want to put your piston ring compressor around it. We're going to need to open it up more. We got ours from AutoZone. It's one of my favorite ones because this one has a little ratcheting style. And remember that have this nice and oiled because you want that to slide through nicely. And then this will have a little ratchet, or not ratchet, just a little key. And you want all the rings to be as on there as tight as possible. Okay? And remember the direction where that notch is, because that's facing this side of the engine. With that being done, if you did what we did on the block and we got the every piston, every cylinder chamfered, this will allow it to drop the rings much easier. So you're going to lay that down and make sure you can get it as tight as possible inside here, because you need to get this as flat. This isn't very flat, so we need to try to do that right now. Let's see. So we gotta open this up a little bit.
A little bit.
There's a little wrench. So when you get the ring compressor on, make sure you get the little bit of the skirt showing. That way we can get it all the way down.
It'll help you guide it in the cylinder.
Yeah. And make sure you're straight. because you don't want this sucker to fall. Once you have that, tap it around in a little circle, and then what you want to do, when you hit the piston down, you want to tap it in a circle, not just go straight down, because you want to feel for each ring to pass, because if you don't, if you just smack it in, what will happen is that ring will catch and you'll snap it or it'll bend, and then that's the end of that. So, you want to go for it, Ray?
No, if you want to do that, I'll make
Okay.
sure it's clear on the bottom.
And literally just tap it in. And just remember, if it gets stuck when you're tapping it in, like right now, it's one of the rings didn't make it through. So, like right now it's stuck. So that means we have got to take it back out. And then that was the oiler ring. So, and you just got to keep repeating the process until you guys get it right. It's a slow process, guys, so repeat that process, do it again, and just double check. Make sure that your rings are, like right now they're all spun, so move that back over here. Okay, try it again.
It's not straight in there. Doesn't look like it's straight.
No. Try it again now. Ah, fuck. There we go. You're going to repeat this over and over and take your time. Until you get it right.
Behind you.
It's definitely a trial and error process, guys, okay? So, don't get mad. Is it opening up or what?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. See, like right here, it's getting caught. There you go. Make sure we're flat all around. Yep, we're flat again. And then, same process. Oh, you gotta turn it right there.
Hold on.
Nope. We got one ring, but the other one slipped. See?
Yep.
Jeez, man. So, I'll show you in just a minute, but you have to make sure that the ring compressor is literally as flat as possible, because if not, a little tiny gap will pretty much force it to make the ring come out, and then it won't go back in. But you'll see we got the piston in. We're going to do one more and show you guys, and then just repeat the process 2 more times. So we got cylinder number 4 down, 3 more to go. So we're going to start on cylinder number 1 next, since those 2 are up. Then the next one we'll flip the engine over and then show you guys what to do on the crank side. Same procedure, make sure the notch facing the front of the engine. Open up a bit more. When you actually tighten this down and be a little lopsided, it's okay, because we'll even it out once we put it in. Remember, let the skirt show out a little bit. Get your rubber mallet and tap it in a circle so it evens out all around. We're off.
Yes, yeah, it's gotta go this way a little bit.
Oh shit, it's lopsided. Hold on, don't tighten it down yet, because it's all like. There we go.
Yeah, a little bit of gap back here. There you go.
Okay, so once it's nice and tight, notch facing this way, you're going to hold it down and just give it a good little whack, but not too hard. Don't use anything metal. Use something soft and just, oh yeah, I oiled up the cylinder. Hopefully that helps too. And then just give it like a little, and it didn't go through. So you'll feel it stop. That means you, well, yep, you didn't make it through. So no, we gotta bring it back up.
See if it'll go through. Where'd you
No.
pass it already? Oh, passed it
Yeah.
already.
And go back up. Uh oh. It's actually sideways. Double check your ring spacing again when you take it out. We're good. And do it again. Keep repeating the process until you guys get it to go through. Eventually, you'll get it to go through, just like that one. A little bit more.
There you go.
Stupid thing wants you to go all the way. This actually went down much better than before.
A little more in the back. Actually, all along right here. There you go.
Looks like we're flat.
Looks like we're flat.
Alright, try it again. Yep, compress the ring a bit more. There we go. Looks like you have to leave it like that.
That looks good.
Nope.
Nope.
This is like the most tedious part, I think, of this whole freaking build. Making sure you don't mess anything up.
Go there you go. Right there.
Okay. Alright, so we got cylinder number 1 and 4 installed, but the ring compressor tool that we're using is really crappy. We actually had to bend it to make it actually lock it really well in place.
It was skipping teeth.
Yeah.
And loosened up on its own.
So every time we pound it, it opened up, and then we tightened it down some more, and then hit it, and it opened up again. So it took longer than normal. Sorry we didn't film it, but
We didn't know how long it was going to take.
yeah. So now we got cylinder 1 and 4 installed. We're going to flip it and then show you how to actually install the rod caps and everything now. When you get it all the way through, try not to go all the way down. We're going to do that once we get the engine flipped under. We're going to push it up and then get the rod caps installed. That way you guys can see that as well. We're going to put everything hand tight. Nothing's going to be torqued to spec. We're going to torque everything down after all 4 cylinders are installed. So now,
This way.
flip this sucker.
Sorry.
There we go. So now that's there. You want to make sure the rod's straight. So it's going to be kind of hard. Yeah, oh, perfect. Get something long. It's going to be hard to see, so I'm going to grab the camera here. Wait a second. And if you see right there, I'll get that right now. You see wiggle it? He crammed a little Allen bit extension right there. We're going to just push up with by your hand. And we're going to line it up as best we can. I think we should turn the crank around.
No, because then I don't know where it's going.
It's going right
okay.
there. Yeah. And then a little bit more.
Not showing anything
Oh,
good.
right there. And there you go. Rod's installed. Now the next thing you need to do is push it back. Just keep holding it right there. Leave it there. You see that up there? Bolt hole. You're gonna get your rod bearing, or your lower rod cap. Sorry. You see the number on it?
No, I'm checking now.
It's on the other
It's on
side.
this side, so spin it around.
Actually, we can see if we can see this one right here. That way we can. It should be back there.
$2.99.
So
This should be $2.99. 206.
So don't use the $2.99 over there. We're going to use it over here. ARP gives you fastener assembly lube. You can't use a normal assembly lube based off of their warranty. So let's see if here it is. It's called fastener assembly lube. You're going to use this for the bolts. You're going to put a little bit of assembly lube on the actual crank itself. And then the rod bearing is actually made up They actually kind of almost click in place. It's pretty crazy. These things are machined like so well.
That's pretty close.
Just like that. And then the two bolts. And this is pretty much what they want you to put on there. Not a good ton, but they already had some on there, so I'm just putting more on it. It just tells you to put it on there. I don't know why you want a ton of this stuff, but
Just a little bit. That's good.
but per their instructions on their assembly, that's what they want. So pretty much just hand tighten these. Nothing special. That's it. And then work on the next rod. So we're going to turn the crank over again. I'll pull the rod back that way. There you go. And you'll see how we're trying to get this in there. There you go. And then push up on the piston. And then that rod's installed. And then bring it up. Right there. There you go.
That's a lot better.
Assembly lube. And then and you'll notice that these have no numbers on this side. You want the numbers on the other side of the rod. And literally just push down as hard as you can. I got it. These suckers go on pretty dang tight.
It should be good.
There you go. Sorry if the camera's all jumping around. I'm holding this while we're trying to do this together.
Put it back on the tripod.
Yeah, well, get up close and personal, buddy. Up close and personal. Got enough? Or? And that's pretty much it. Repeat the process for the rest of the pistons. No, we're not all the way down on this side.
Well,
It's not, the bolt is actually binding. There we go.
there it goes.
That's it, they have to be pushed all the way down. That's weird. They want them 100% all the way down. So that's it. Once you get all four rods in and pistons, these have to be torqued down to 50 foot-pounds, and you triple check them per IE's instructions. So you torque them down 50 foot-pounds, click, and then click, click, you're done. Click, 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 you're done, and repeat the process, okay? So now with all four rods installed, we're now just hand tightening them just to get them to lock. We're not torquing them down at all. So there we go. Just get them hand tight, nothing special. Every bolt needs to be torqued down to 50 foot-pounds, and then you click them 3 times. 1, 2, 3, okay? So set your torque wrench to 50 foot-pounds, socket, and then we should start in, no, because these aren't,
We can go.
yeah, because they're individual.
Yeah.
So pretty much one, 2, 3. Done. 1, 2, 3. Done. That's it for that one. And then there we go. Over here, I guess. Really isn't a pattern, but we're doing it just because that's what we're doing. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you use the applied assembly lube that ARP gives you with the IE rod set. It's part of, I guess, what they're recommending. So 1, 2, 3. Done. So now the crank is pretty much full. The crank and pistons and rods are fully installed and assembled. You did the hard part. Now is pretty much putting the rest of the motor back together. We're going to show you next, for the next DIY. Our next episode is pretty much the oil pump, the oil cover, oil chain, the oil chain for the pump, which is on this side. There's a cover. We're going to show you how to actually RTV the lower bottom of the block to do it correctly for the oil pan. The front main seal, rear main seal is also the, oh no, rear main seal, front main seal is next for the part of the assembling. And then all the other gaskets that go on the front of the engine. And then whatever's over here in the back, which is nothing because we're not using anything except for the water passage that's back here, but that's not a big deal. The crank bolt will be last once everything's fully assembled. Don't forget your assembly lube. Trying to think, what else is there, Ray?
I think we've covered it.
Yep. Engine's fully, pretty much the hardest part of your build is done. The next part is actually all the little tedious things, like the timing. Timing's like the next tedious part of this, which is pretty straightforward. As long as you get cylinder number 1 to TDC, leave it alone, put all your stuff back together. When you slap the head back on, we'll walk you through that as well. Head gasket, torque specifications, and the torque routine that you have to actually do it in a specific manner. Using ARP hardware, it's a completely different install because you're not stretching any of the bolts. We got thermostat, the oil cooler and all that has to go in. The coolant flange for this side of the block. I'm trying to think what else is there. That's pretty much it. We have to clean, add some more oil maybe later down the road. These have to move as freely as possible. It's a little hard, huh? It's also not easy to turn.
Means the teeth are killing me.
I can do it over here. Yeah. But always remember, you want to move everything to cylinder number 1. Right there. And then you'll notice it'll start going down. You don't want that. You want it where it hits the top and it has like
A stall.
a stall, yeah. That's TDC. Once you see it go down, you're already past it. You feel it and there's just a little gap. Barely moves. Once you wiggle it and it doesn't wiggle anymore, that's TDC. Leave it there. You set it and forget it for the time being. There.
Or Ronco.
Ronco. Yeah, a little oven.
Yeah.
Just set it and forget it. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Our progress is already going really, really quick. We just did all the hard stuff. You guys did all the hard stuff with us. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.